Hi guys, my name's Andy. In part one I showed you the basics of the spiral lift mechanism that I've designed and made for use in a rolling ball sculpture that I'm planning to make. And I said I'd show you the slipping clutch mechanism that I've put it into the device. And the reason for wanting the slipping clutch mechanism is that although the little motor with a rating of some 6 to 10 watts is a very small motor, because it's geared so low, 10 revs a minute, 6 seconds per revolution, the output of the motor's got quite a lot of torque. And if it got jammed up and there was no protection, if the motor could just sort of deliver all of its energy into the spiral, I'm sure it's got quite enough energy to actually be destructive. If you jam the motor to a dead stop, then there's every chance that the coils of the motor would burn out. So it makes sense to try and protect the system. And protect any people that may get sort of tangled up in this mechanism. You can imagine kids poking their fingers in it and God knows what to, because that's what kids do. It's what I would have done. So you don't want anybody getting their finger chopped off. So as a quick recap, or if anybody's joined us straight into part 2, this is the spiral lift mechanism. Balls are fed into the bottom, they're driven up to the top of the spiral where they run down into some sort of rolling ball sculpture that I haven't designed yet. And the slipping clutch mechanism is at the bottom of this central shaft, and I'll take that apart and show you now. Just before I take it apart, I'll just show you that I can stop the mechanism because I've got the slipping clutch adjusted such that there's enough stiction to actually allow the balls to be driven up the mechanism, but if I put my finger in the mechanism, it will stop the device from working. So I don't know how well the I'm going to jam it now, and you see how, did you see how the spring disengaged? So that bottom disc is being driven by the motor and the spring is rubbing on the outer edge. So there, I've let it go again, and now I'll jam it again. I hope that's clear. Anyway, I'll take it apart and show you how it's made. There are only 2 bolts holding the mechanism to the motor, and I've undone the nuts on there. So that's the 2 bolts going, and then that's the mechanism. We've got a central column there and the outer spiral, and that's the motor. So this arrangement at the bottom is the slipping clutch, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do a little sketch of this mechanism, and hopefully that'll make it easier to come to terms with what I'm showing you. Okay, the clutch essentially comprises of 3 parts. We've got the spiral drive tube and arm at the top, that's this part. We've got this connecting device that connects the mechanism to the motor, and we've got a little spring, and that's all contained down here. So we'll be taking those apart and showing you. But essentially the motor is turning, and in order to get the motion from the motor up to here, this device is designed such that it fits over the top of that shaft, and that flat locates with that flat. So it's that flat that's driving this part. This upper tube and mechanism slides over the top of here. So this top hat slides over the top of that top hat. That top hat slides over the motor. Okay, so in the absence of anything else, if we put power on here, this will turn, and if there's any friction or resistance there, that won't turn. So obviously we want it to turn, so we've got a spring that's that shape. That's a larger spring than the one I actually fitted, and this one was too powerful. And that spring is such that it goes around this tube, comes around there, and then it's bent down that mouse hole. And I'm going to extend it, it's only a short spring, but it goes down that mouse hole and it engages with this mouse hole in the second part, and it's got a little kickback there, that little return, which stops the spring from moving upwards. It's not fixed, it's simply slid over this tube, and the very shape of the spring holds it in place. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. The brim of this top hat is just a little bit larger than the brim of that top hat, so that spring is always retained by that mouse hole, and it's located into the bottom one by that little mouse hole or notch. And then by controlling the shape of that cutout, you can determine how much force is needed on here to stop this from turning, because if you apply a lot of force, that spring simply pops out and it scoots round the edge of that top hat rim, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm working in the dark here because I can't see the camera. So those are the component parts. I'm going to lift the spring off. I'm going to try and lift the spring off. Right, so that's the spring out of the way. Now then, that is the bottom top hat, and hopefully you can see the flat. That flat locates onto the drive shaft of the motor there, so a little bit of play in that. I could tighten that up. So as the motor turns, it drives that, and then on there we've got this little cutout, this little mouse hole, and I've profiled that so that, where do I put that spring? So that when the spring, which comes from up above, fits on there, it drops into that little profile and it drives the upper mechanism via that spring. So far so good. And that spring, actually this little spring, it's the same shape, but you'll see it's a much lighter weight spring. Hopefully you can see that. That spring locates into that notch. I can't see the camera, so I hope I'm getting that. So putting it back together, that goes into there. That goes over there. And then if we pop the motor into play. There you can see if I force it, but it just locks into place, and that just provides enough force just to drive those few balls at the top, but it won't destroy the motor. I said that this little motor is quite powerful, and I can't stop that. I'll probably get into trouble doing this. If I try, oh, that's that is a lot of force on there. Without protection, that motor would it'd probably twist this little brass tube. It has an awful lot of torque in there. So maybe if you use a belt-driven gear ratio reduction system, you wouldn't have to worry about it. You just let the belt slip. But that with a direct mechanical drive off there, something's actually got to break to stop that. Surprised me. Okay, putting it back together, the slipping clutch is reassembled. That pops onto there. Then this upper mechanism, that's got a simple hole there. I've got a spigot on the top of there. That's a hardened steel pin. That locates there, and then, as I say, I've simply got two bolts, which I shall just pop in there. I've got an electrical earth. This is obviously a temporary arrangement, but the motor will be permanently earthed. And if I knew where the other nut had disappeared to, my workbench is like the bottom of a baby's pram. I am a very messy worker, and I make no apologies for that. Anyway, that's it. That's the unit back together. It's simple and easy. Anyway, what else I was going to say to you? Oh yeah, many years ago, I got talked into helping Betty Cadbury of Cadbury's chocolate fame, and she has or had a museum, playthings past, and where she'd got mechanical toys and automata, and I repaired quite a few of the mechanical toys and automata for her, and she very kindly gave me this book. It says, "For Andy, many thanks for all the help with the mechanical toys, Betty Cadbury," and she signed it again there. She says if she signs it there again, it makes the book more valuable. I think that's all I ever got for my efforts. I don't think I even had a box of chocolates, but I had a lot of fun repairing mechanical toys and automata, and that was purely hobby stuff. And it's amazing. You open up an automata, and you're expecting gears and all sorts of complicated mechanisms, and a lot of them work with just a bit of bent wire or even a bit of string where an arm is pulled and it moves. Fascinating stuff. Anyway, I think that's all I wanted to show you in this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found it interesting. All the very best to you. Bye bye.